بكت كل يوم كل الكائنات.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد، حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد، وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وصحابته المنتجبين، واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وأناخت برحلك. عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا، ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: تلك الدار الآخرة نجعلها للذين لا يريدون علوا في الأرض ولا فسادا والعاقبة للمتقين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. We human beings, it is part of our human nature to seek attention, to want people's attention. This is part of our genes. As we talked about in our previous lectures, that it is part of human nature to be loved and to be liked and to be accepted. It is part of human nature to want attention. It's also part of the survival of the fittest. The one who seeks the most amount of attention gets the most amount of rewards. Material rewards, emotional rewards, and so on and so forth. So he who has the most amount of attention gets the most. So it's part of our system. It's in our system. It's in our genes. It's part of human nature to want attention, to get people to look at us, to hear us, to follow up with us. It's part of human nature. And it starts off from the days that we're infants, from the days that we're babies, we're children. We love the attention that we get from our parents, from our siblings, from others. We love it. When we're children, we do things to catch people's attention. We do funny things, silly things. And if we don't get attention, we cry. You see babies, they cry, they break some things, they break their toys, they wreak havoc, they cause a lot of noise and disruption just to get attention. You know, what's upsetting the most for a child is when their parents have another child. Imagine a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old child, when his parents, they have another child. There's a new baby in the house. A lot of children, they get upset. They feel envy. They get jealous. Why? Because they were the center of attention for the past 3 years. They were the king of the house. They had grabbed everyone's attention, from the mother, the father, the grandparents, the grandfather, the grandmother, the siblings, the cousins. They were the king of the house. And now there's a new king. Now there's disruption in the house. Now all the spotlight is going to another child. And some children can't handle it. They'll abuse the new child physically. They begin to cry. They become naggy. They can't sleep. They won't eat. They start throwing tantrums. They start throwing fits. Why? Because they're not receiving the attention that they've been used to receiving. And when we grow older, it's not that much different. We still want attention. We want the attention of our parents. We want the attention of our family members, our friends. When we see a sibling getting more attention than us, we get upset. even when we're teenagers, even when we're older. If one sibling has the attention of our parents more than the other, more than us, we get upset. We still crave attention, even as we're older. It's the same instincts, the same inclinations that we had as babies, we have them when we're adults. We want attention. We want people to look at us, to hear us. At school, you want people to give you attention. And that's why when we're not given the attention that we want, we'll do things to get attention. On the playing field, when we're playing, we'll do things to get people's attention. At school, boys want the attention of girls, girls want the attention of boys. There's seeking attention, there's a sense of seeking attention everywhere. When you go to college, it's no different. When you go to university, it's no different. When you go to work, in the workplace, it's no different. In fact, the need to seek attention, it affects us. It affects our behavior. What we do is affected by the need to seek attention. Thus, there's some people that will get silly haircuts, or will do a very fashionable haircut, or the way they grow their beard, or the way they dress, all to get attention. There are some people that are willing to spend a lot of money and a lot of cash on their clothing. They'll buy the most expensive clothing, the most expensive watch, the most expensive shoes, the most expensive eyeglasses. Why? To get people's attention. So that when you're out shopping, when you're in the mall, when you're at school, when you're in the workplace, people pay you attention. People look at you. You get a couple of stares. People are willing to go out of their way. Working out is good. Being fit is good. But there are some people that go out of their way. They lift weights. They spend hours. They might even take, special medicine just to lift weights, just to have a body that looks like the body of a person who lifts weights, to get some attention, to get a couple of wows, to grab people's attention. Thus, we human beings, sometimes we get out of our way just to get people's attention. Even if it means spending a lot of money, even if it means wasting a lot of time, even if it means doing things that are provocative or that we don't really want, but because it will grab us attention, it will get us attention, we'll do it anyway. This is part of human nature. And this isn't restricted to one nationality or one race. No, a lot of people are guilty of this from a wide spectrum of nationalities and races. Now, the problem, seeking attention to a certain limit is normal, because all human beings want attention, starting from babies up till grown-ups, even the elderly. Everyone wants attention. A certain level of it is normal. As we said, it's part of human nature. But some want attention so badly that it becomes an obsession. It becomes abnormal. When wanting attention becomes an obsession, becomes an illness, becomes a psychological disorder where you want attention all the time. And you can't live without attention. You have to grab people's attention all the time. You have to be in the news all the time. You have to be the talk of the town all the time. That is where it's not normal any longer. That is where you have to ask a question as to what am I doing? Is this normal for me to want attention this much? For people to recognize me? For people to know who I am? For my name to be out? For me to gain fame and attention and to become popular? Is this normal? You see people that will do the craziest things just to get some attention. They'll perform plastic surgeries. Not once, not twice, not 10. But when plastic surgery becomes an obsession where you will change completely the way you look, your face. That becomes an obsession. Because you want attention so badly that you're willing to disfigure your face. I remember a couple of years ago, I read in the news about a person that tried to get a tattoo in their eye, an eye tattoo. Why? For a couple of minutes of fame. 5 seconds of fame, 10 seconds of fame. To make it in the news. And that person went blind. That person went blind because of that eye tattoo. Maybe it's possible. Maybe it won't do damage, but it could do damage. But my point is that look at what some people will do, at what lengths they will go just to seek attention. There's some people that are willing to do anything, sell themselves. They're willing to do the craziest things, go out of their way just to seek attention. Some people are willing to publish promiscuous photos of themselves without shame, without embarrassment. Why? Because it grabs people's attention. This becomes an obsession. This becomes an illness. This is no longer natural. A baby wanting attention, this is natural. You wanting attention at school, on the field, at work, in normal circumstances, it's part of human nature. It's normal. But when it becomes an obsession to the point that you can't live without attention, this is not normal. Here you need to raise a question. Here you need to put a major question mark and say, what am I doing? What went wrong? When is it that I deviated from normal tendencies? When is it that I started acting unnormally? This is very important. You know, there is a famous saying in Arabic that says, "Khalif tu'raf." Be different so that you may be known. You know, if everyone is going in the same direction, but someone comes in the wrong direction, someone starts going in the wrong direction, he'll grab everyone's attention. If you see a car on the freeway, but in the opposite side, even if it's on the edge, on the last lane, they'll grab everyone's attention. Why? Because they're doing the opposite. They're going the opposite of the direction. Everyone else is going in one direction, you'll be going in another direction. You grab people's attention. Khalif tu'raf. There are some people that are willing to disagree and be different. Not because they want to be different, not because they genuinely have different views and different opinions, not because they reached a conclusion because of the research, because after long research, they reached certain conclusions. No. So they're different. No. It's because they want fame. They want popularity. Be different in order to get fame. And that's how the world works. If you want instant fame, instant popularity, do something crazy. Say something crazy. Be different. Be abnormal. You'll get attention. You'll get attention. Why is it that you see certain speakers, certain orators, certain individuals that are moderate? They're moderate in their lectures and their speeches. No one gives them attention. But let this person say something abnormal. Let him curse an individual. Let him pick a fight with an individual. Immediately he'll get attention. And there are some, they've built a career out of this. They'll attack certain individuals. They're willing to attack even maraji', scholars, historical figures, companions of Rasulullah, family members of Rasulullah, let alone companions, family members of Rasulullah, to get some fame, to get some popularity. Because if they were to say normal things, no one gives them attention. But they're dying for attention, so they're willing to say the craziest things, attack individuals, attack scholars, attack maraji', to become popular. And people They follow those individuals that say crazy things. People look for gossip. People look for gossip. Whoever's gossiping the most, they'll become popular. If you remember, a couple of years ago, there was a pastor by the name of Pastor Terry Jones. He became very popular. How many pastors do we have in the West? How many fathers and priests do we have in the West? But this person stood out, Terry Jones. Why? Because he wanted to burn the Quran. And when he was asked, I remember my elder brother, Samahat Sayyid Hossein Qazwini, he had a debate with Terry Jones on Fox News. He asked him, have you read the Quran? It was either my brother that asked him or the interviewer during the debate. He was asked, have you read the Quran? He said, no, I haven't read the Quran. He was asked, do you know that there's an entire chapter in the Quran with the name of Mary, Maryam, Mary the mother of Jesus? He said, no. Yet he was willing to burn the Quran. Why? Because it brought him fame. He could care less what's in the Quran. He's ignorant of what's in the Quran. He could care less. But he wanted fame. When all other religious scholars are calling for unity, are calling for peace and harmony amongst followers of different religions. But when you have a lunatic that comes and says, let's burn the Quran, that's going to be instant fame. That will make the news instantly, and that is what he wanted. And there's a lot of people like this. There's a lot of people like this that want attention, they want fame. And unfortunately, there's people that give them that fame and popularity. They follow them. While these people should be punished. How? By not following them, by not giving them the attention that they want. That's the biggest punishment for them. But unfortunately, when we see people that want fame and attention, whether they're speakers or orators or journalists or publishers or actors or politicians that want fame, we give them the fame that they want. We give them the attention that they want. And that is wrong. That only encourages them to do more. That's rewarding them. When they see they got people's attention, that means it works. Saying something crazy works. It gives them fame. So they'll do it again and again and again. And they make a career off of it. Of saying crazy things. Of saying radical things. Of saying things that could cause wars. Bloodshed. Blood could be spilled by the nonsense of certain individuals just because they want fame. That's a problem. Now, seeking attention was a problem in the past, but today it's become a much major problem. Why? Because today we have social media. Today we have Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok, and every day, mashallah, there's a new vehicle for social media. We can't even keep up with them. We can't even keep up with them. Before it was just Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. Now there's tens of vehicles for social media. And there's so many outlets. And that means there's so many ways to seek attention and to grab people's attention. Social media could be fun. It could be a way for people to make friends. We make new friends on social media. We stay connected. We stay up to date. You see what your friends are doing. If your friends are on vacation, they're traveling, if they're celebrating their birthday, especially during this lockdown, when we can't connect in person because of social distancing, at least we can connect through social media. This is a positive. This is good. But it also has its cons. There's also a negative side to social media. Unfortunately, it's become a habit of some people that they post everything that they do. They eat a cake, they take a post. They take a picture and they post it. They're on the beach, they post a picture. They're at school, they're in a mosque. This is fine, but sometimes, even when it comes to their private life, they post pictures. There's no more privacy. People don't respect their own privacy. They post everything that they do, and then they wonder why, when things go wrong in their life, they wonder why. Obviously, when you're drawing attention to yourself, when you're drawing people's eyes, when you bring the ayn, the evil eye to yourself, Then you wonder why you got in a car accident, or why your house was set on fire, or why your child became sick or ill. You're bringing attention to yourself. Unnecessary attention. You're bringing the evil eye to yourself. Why? People don't respect their own privacy. They post a picture, they make a post, or they tweet, whatever comes onto their mind, they tweet. Even if it's the silliest things, they tweet about it. Why? Because it's attention. It's all about attention. Getting attention today, it doesn't require you to go out on the streets and drive a Lamborghini, spend $100,000 on a Lamborghini or on a Porsche, and go in a busy street where everyone can see your car. No, it doesn't require that much money. Today, getting attention is free. All you have to do is come on Facebook or on Twitter and social media and say something crazy, and you'll get people's attention immediately. You'll get the likes. You'll get the retweets. You'll get the shares right away. And I see some people that are willing to share the craziest things on social media just for a couple of likes. They're willing to post the craziest things just to get a couple of retweets or a couple of likes. People are willing to say the craziest things on Twitter, tweet things that are on their mind that doesn't make sense or is irrational or is offensive to a race or offensive to a gender or offensive to a religion or the followers of a religion. Why? To gain fame, to gain popularity, to get retweets, and to get likes. Today, being famous requires, 40 characters or 140 characters. Now it's more, maybe it's 280 characters, I don't know, on Twitter. And you're instantly famous. The same night you'll be famous. Once people have retweeted, they've shared, and your tweet goes on WhatsApp as well, and people start circulating it into various groups, you've gained what you wanted. Now you're famous. Now you're popular. But what is it that you've done? What is it that you've said? Some people are willing to post improper pictures of themselves or ridiculous pictures of themselves for a couple of retweets or a couple of likes or a couple of reposts or say bizarre things. This is a problem that we have today. The problem of wanting attention on social media for a couple of likes, for a couple of retweets. We have sisters, unfortunately, from our communities that will post inappropriate pictures of themselves with or without hijab, with or without makeup, on social media for a couple of likes. Why? Think of this, that will you be proud of this picture that you're posting 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, or when you have a daughter of your own? Will you be proud of this picture? Because a lot of these social media comments, posts, pictures, tweets, they resurface after 5 years, 10 years, like we see with Donald Trump. Tweets from 2011, 2013, when President Barack Obama was president, he would tweet about him. Today his tweets resurface, right? They come back to haunt him. The things that we say on social media, in a post, in a tweet, will they come back to haunt us after 5 years, after 6 years? We have to be very careful. At the moment, you think it's funny. You think it's cool. You think it's popular. It will bring you popularity. A couple of people will retweet, repost, but what will it do to you in 5 years down the line? You could lose a job. You could lose a marriage. You could destroy a family. You could destroy your own family or other people's families. You could do a lot of damage with a tweet, with a repost, with a post. But at the moment, you thought this is fame, this is attention. You want attention. Look at Donald Trump, prime example of his Twitter account. Look at the craziest things he'll say on Twitter just for attention, just to get retweets and likes. He'll say the craziest things. And he'll mock people, he'll make fun of people, he'll make prejudiced comments, biased comments, bigoted statements, racist statements. He'll call it the Chinese plague, the Chinese virus, build the wall, Hispanics are this, Muslims are this, it's in their Quran, black people are this. And it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop because he has a base that's giving him attention. They're giving him attention and they'll support him and they'll retweet and they'll like his posts. And we saw the catastrophes that he's created, that he's caused. This should be a prime example of seeking attention on social media. And the problem is that it's addictive. Seeking attention on social media is addictive. You make a post, you make a tweet, you write a tweet, you publish it, and you get 100 retweets. Oh wow, I got this many people's attention? Well, let me post something else. And then something else. And it gets retweets, it gets likes. It could be about anything. It could be about religion. It could be about sports. It could be about politics. But it got you that attention from people from all across the globe, from all across the world. It got you attention. But then after a day, 2 days, that attention is gone. No one's paying attention to your posts. So you have to post again and again to keep that attention coming, to keep your followers with you. And as your followers on social media, they increase, the more you have to give them attention. Otherwise, you lose your followers. And that's how social media works. When you don't post, when you don't tweet, after a while, you lose your followers. So to get those people following up with you, you have to keep on feeding them and feeding them. But what are you feeding them with? If it's something positive, if it's something beneficial for your akhirah, for their akhirah, for your hereafter, that's good. But a lot of times you run out of content. You don't know what to post. You don't know what to say. You don't know which pictures to share. You start sharing things that are inappropriate, things that could be destructive, things that could be harmful, or things that could be nonsense. It could be nonsense. You can make people laugh at you. You could become a laughingstock by posting things that are unnecessary, inappropriate. And we've all had this experience. All of us, without exception. We've all had that experience of gaining that attention or fame on social media and wanting it. It's addictive. Social media is made in a way that you crave attention all the time because it affirms who you are as a person. It validates you. When you get retweets and likes, it makes you feel good because you've received validation. People are liking who you are and what you post. So you want it again and again and again. And this is a problem. This is a problem. Right? So what's the cure, my dear friends? Should we cancel social media? Should I go today and cancel my account on Twitter or Facebook or TikTok or Snapchat or whatever it is? No. It's not about canceling. It's about monitoring. It's about being careful. It's just like driving. There's people that during driving they get in car accidents. What does that mean? Should we cancel out cars and no one drives? No, drive, but drive carefully. There's some people when they go swimming, they sink, they drown. Their ship sinks, they drown. Does that mean that we should no longer go swimming? No, go swimming, but be careful. Take the necessary measures that make sure that you don't drown. Same thing with social media. Be on social media, but be careful. Ask yourself, what am I posting? What am I tweeting? Can this harm me? Does this have any benefit for me, for my akhirah, not for my dunya? Not because it brings me attention. It'll bring you attention. It'll bring you fame and popularity. But is that good for you? Will Allah be satisfied with this tweet? Would Allah be satisfied with this post? Why am I doing this? Am I doing this for fame when I'm posting this picture or tweeting or writing? Or am I doing it for the sake of Allah? What's my goal? Will it bring people closer to Allah? Will it make me closer to Allah Azza wa Jal? Or no, I'm doing this for fame and for popularity. My name will be out. My name will not be oblivious. Everyone will know my name, from Los Angeles all the way to Auckland in New Zealand. Everyone will know me. Is that my goal? What good will popularity do to me, or fame? What good will fame do for me when they put me in my grave? When Azrael will come and take my life and take my soul, and they'll put me in my grave. If I have 1 million followers on Twitter, what good would that do for me? Are those 85 million individuals, will they come to my grave? Will they come and sleep in my grave? Will they come and answer the questions of Munkar and Nakir for me? What will they do? When they wash my body in the Mughtasal, will they come and stand and support me and help me and prevent the angels from, God forbid, taking me to hellfire? No. Popularity and fame is only good if we make use of them for good causes. If I use my popularity and fame for good causes, to get money for a charity, to raise money for orphans, to call people to Islam, to call people to the path of Ahlul Bayt, that popularity and fame will be good. It's a means, it's not an end. You see, my dear friends, we have to see popularity on social media as a means. It's not an end in itself. I will do things and say things and post things and tweet and retweet to get popularity. That becomes an end. Popularity is not an end in itself. Seeking attention should not be an end in itself. It should be a means. I'm popular so that I may serve Islam. If this is the goal, that's fine. If it's a means to an end. But it shouldn't be a means in itself. Because popularity in itself is useless, and it could even damage. If it's not used in a good way for a good cause, it could do much damage. It could do much damage. In fact, my dear friends, sometimes, since we're talking about social media and seeking attention on social media, sometimes we need to take a break. There are some people that are obsessed with social media. They're obsessed. They're on it all the time. Sometimes we need to do a detox from social media. Take a break. Put your phone down. Or restrict it for an hour or 2 hours a day. No longer. Live your life. See your family. Spend time with your children. Spend time with your wife, with your husband. Do your studies. Read. Learn. Don't waste your time so much on social media. Have some hours for social media. Also, we have to be careful what we post and tweet. It shouldn't be impulsively. If we think of tweeting impulsively, meaning something comes to my mind, I immediately pick up my phone and I tweet it without thinking, without re-examining the consequences and results of this tweet or this post. This is wrong. And also, we shouldn't take our fights on social media. Sometimes you disagree with someone. If you have a personal conflict with someone, don't take it out on social media. Don't embarrass yourself. There's people that take their fights on social media. They have a problem, a personal problem with an individual. They'll come and take it on social media. And they'll fight and they post and they tweet and they try to ruin that person's image or her image. This is wrong. Don't take your personal vendettas, personal agendas, personal problems on social media. Keep a low key. Don't dramatize everything. Instead, let's use social media for good purposes. Social media, there's so much that we can learn online from social media. There's some excellent accounts on Facebook, on Twitter, that are educational, that we can learn from, whether it's religious or not or non-religious, maybe it's political, but there's a world of information on social media. Let's use it positively. We can use it for educational purposes. We can use it to promote Islam and the school of thought of Ahlul Bayt. We can promote the Quran, verses from the Holy Quran, narrations from Ahlul Bayt, ahadith from Ahlul Bayt. Let's promote them. Let's translate them into English or any other language and promote them on social media. We could use social media to stay connected with family and friends. Salat al-Rahim. to stay connected with them, with friends, colleagues, other Muslims. And let's remember, my dear friends, that success comes with sincerity. Success does not come with fame and popularity or with the intention to seek fame and popularity. The most successful people throughout history were those that were sincere, that did good because they wanted to do good, not because they wanted to seek fame and popularity. They had ikhlas. They were sincere in their deeds. Whether it was religious scholars or maraja or scientists or physicists, they were sincere in their actions. They did it for the sake of humanity. They did it for the sake of science, for the sake of knowledge, to spread knowledge. They did it to benefit people, not to seek fame, not to seek popularity. Read about history. Read about Copernicus, Galileo. Read about Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, whether it's philosophers or scientists, Isaac Newton, Einstein, all these people that achieved academically, intellectually. Maybe we disagree with some of these individuals and we disagree with their intellectual output. Maybe we disagree with some of their theories. But they still achieved. They were successful individuals. They did it not because they were seeking attention or fame, but because they were sincere. They were dedicated. Even our scholars, look at those that were sincere in their deeds and in their actions. And they gained fame and popularity. They gained fame and popularity not because they sought fame and popularity. They were sincere in their deeds, but fame and popularity came to them. You see, fame and popularity, they work in an interesting way. Go after it, it doesn't come to you. Run away from fame and popularity, it comes after you. Our goal should not be to seek fame and attention. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, there are some who accuse him of rising against Yazid only to seek fame, to seek power, to seek dunya. He wanted to become popular in the ummah. Till today, he's accused of wanting to be different so that he could gain fame and popularity. That principle of khalif tu'raf, some say it applies to Imam Hussein. These individuals, they do not know Imam Hussein alayhi salam. They haven't read the history of Imam Hussein. They have little to know about the movement of Imam Hussein and what he did and what was his motive and what was his goal. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he makes his goal very clear. Very, very clear. إني لم أخرج أشرا ولا بطرا ولا مفسدا ولا ظالما. I did not rise for corruption. I did not rise out of free time or because I had nothing to do. I was wasting my time. وإنما خرجت لطلب الإصلاح في أمة جدي. I rose for reform in the ummah of my grandfather, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. خرجت لطلب الإصلاح في أمة جدي أريد أن آمر بالمعروف وأنهى عن المنكر. I rose to enjoy the good and forbid the bad. I rose to order the good and forbid the bad. قال جدي رسول الله من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه فإن لم يستطع فبيده وذلك أضعف الإيمان. I heard, Imam Hussein says, I heard my grandfather say that he of you who sees evil, let him do something about it with his hands. If he couldn't, then with his tongue. Then if he couldn't, then in his heart. And that is the weakest of faith. This was the intention of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. His intention was not to seek fame and popularity. But popularity came to him. Fame came to him. He went after sincerity, but fame and popularity came to him. Now, see, look at the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in the world. It is synonymous with fighting oppression. It is synonymous with fighting injustice. It is synonymous with a freedom seeker. Not just him, but all those that were with him. All those that were with him the companions and the sons and the nephews of Imam Hussein were all very sincere. They were all on the same path. Al-Qasim ibn al-Hasan, whom we commemorate tonight. On the night of Ashura, Imam Hussein alayhi salam told his companions that tomorrow we will all be martyrs. All of us will be martyrs. Al-Qasim was 14 years old. He told him, Ya am wa ana minhum, will I be among the martyrs? Imam Hussein told him, Ya bunay wa kayfa al-mawtu indak? How do you see death? How do you see death? He told him, Wallah fi nusratika ahla min al-asal. If death is to support you, then it is sweeter than honey. It is sweeter than honey. Al-Qasim was not seeking fame or popularity. Al-Qasim was seeking justice. He was supporting his uncle and the causes of his uncle, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Al-Qasim comes to seek permission to enter the battlefield. Imam Hussein refuses. Al-Qasim goes and brings a letter from his father, Imam al-Hasan. He gives it to his uncle, Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein reads the letter. It is addressed to him from his brother Al-Hasan. He tells him, my dear brother, a day will come, La nasira laka wala mu'een. A day that you will not have any supporter, no one to stand with you. Let my son be amongst your supporters. Imam Hussein embraces his nephew Al-Qasim. He gives him the turban of his father and his sword, and he enters the battlefield. Before he goes and he bids his mother farewell, his mother Ramla. Ramla could not hold back her tears when seeing her 14-year-old son. You know, at that age, at that time, youth would get married. They would think of getting married. They would think of building a family, of having children. But Al-Qasim was preparing for his death. His mother could not hold back her tears. Al-Qasim goes into the battlefield and he begins to recite, إن تنكروني فأنا نجل الحسن صبط النبي المصطفى والمؤتمن. He recites these verses of poetry and he fights bravely. Hamid ibn Muslim says that we saw a young man enter the battlefield, his face glowing like a full moon. One of the comrades, he said, by God, I will make sure that his uncle will sit and mourn him. He told him, how devious are you? If this young man took a blow at me, I would not return it to him. The evildoer went towards Al-Qasim. Al-Qasim bent down to fix his shoelace. The evildoer hits Al-Qasim on his head with the sword. Al-Qasim falls on the ground. And he says, Ammah alayka minni salam, fahada jaddi qad saqani sharbatan من كأسه الأوفى شربة لا أظمأ بعدها أبدا. Imam al-Hussein runs to Al-Qasim. He sits next to him. He tells him, يعز على عمك أن تدعوه فلا يجيبك أو يجيبك فلا يعينك أو يعينك فلا يغني عنك شيئا. My dear nephew Al-Qasim, it is difficult for me that you call me but I cannot reply, or if I reply but I cannot help you. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam sits remaining next to Al-Qasim until he dies. He carries him back to the tent. He brings him and puts him next to Ali al-Akbar. Imam Hussein alayhi salam looks at a moment at Al-Qasim and he weeps. And he looks at Ali al-Akbar and he weeps. He sits next to these youth and he weeps. Moments later, as Sayyidah Zainab, she comes, she tells him, my dear brother, Ya Aba Abdullah, leave the tent because Layla and Ramla want to come and sit next to their martyrs and weep for their sons. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العلي الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا عيبا إلا سترته ولا خوفا إلا آمنته ولا رزقا إلا بسطته ولا شملا إلا جمعته ولا مرضا إلا شفيته ولا غائبا إلا حفظته وأدنيته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة لك فيها رضا ولنا فيها صلاح إلا قضيتها ويسرتها يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, dear brothers and sisters, dear muwaleen of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein at MYC and the IIA. Admallah lakum al-ajr. May Allah accept your a'mal. And tonight we commemorate a youth, a man who didn't hesitate in the way of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Even at a young age, he was exempt from taking part in the battle, but he had an obligation, a responsibility, and he was the sacrifice from Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam. This is Qasim, the son of Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam, who his mother prepares for battle. His mother, his own mother, who wishes that Qasim would be a groom, a man who would grow well into his older age, but instead she prepares for him the battle in terms of the amama, the turban of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, the sword and the armor of Imam al-Hassan. And so Imam al-Hussein, who sees this, says, "Stay, your mother wants you to smile. Stay, you leave her to cry. Stay, your mother wants you to smile. Stay, you leave her to cry. My son Al-Qasim, my son Al-Qasim. Qasim, I am your uncle and this is my battle. Qasim, tell me the yearning for death, why do you feel? Qasim, this is my tragedy, this is my trial. Qasim, don't let me hear another mother's wail. Qasim, don't let me hear another mother's wail. Stay on me, your mother's tears hail. Stay, you leave her to cry and wail. Stay on me, your mother's tears hail. My son Al-Qasim, my son Al-Qasim. Tell me, your eyes, they see a path that's before you beams. Tell me, is it your martyrdom or your mother's dreams? Tell me, your eyes, they see a path that's before you beams. Tell me, is it your martyrdom or your mother's dreams? Tell me, for her emotions, what shall tomorrow deem? Tell me, will tears of joy or of grief from her eyes stream? Tell me, will tears of joy or of grief from her eyes stream? Stay, her heart is caught in a gale. Stay, you leave her to cry and wail. Stay, her heart is caught in a gale. My son Al-Qasim, my son. Listen, she's a mother and every mother's the same. Listen, every day of your wedding, your mother dreams. Listen, if this dream of us impossible it came. Listen, her heart would ache every time she heard your name. Listen, her heart would ache every time she heard your name. Stay, daily she'll recall this tale. Stay, you leave her to cry and wail. Stay, daily she'll recall this tale. My son Al-Qasim, my son. Her heart she entrusted, you left it in your hands. Her heart she gifted to you, all its rivers and lands. Her heart, and slip through your hands would the grains of its sands. Her heart, so tell her why with no heart your mother stands. Her heart, so tell her why with no heart your mother stands. Stay with the one who'd sway your cradle. Stay, you leave her to cry and wail. Stay with the one who'd sway your cradle. My son Al-Qasim, my son Al-Qasim. Her eyes would wake up in the morning longing your sight. Her eyes saw all as darkness but saw your face as light. Her eyes yearned the comfort of your eyes when left in fright. Her eyes, but for a glance of you, the world they would fight. Her eyes, for but a glance of you, the world they would fight. Stay, without your sight, her skin pale. Stay, you leave her to cry and wail. Stay, without your sight, her skin pale. My son Al-Qasim, my son. Your eyes, the yearning for martyrdom, in them I find. Your eyes make me realize you won't sleep if left behind. Your eyes looked like Hassan's eyes when with mine they aligned. Your eyes and my brother's request I've never declined. Your eyes and my brother's request I've never declined. Stay, oh go and embrace this trail. Stay, you leave her to cry and wail. My son Al-Qasim, my son Al-Qasim. You go wearing your father's armor and his turban. You go whilst your mother prepares for you a coffin. You go wearing your father's armor and his turban. You go whilst your mother prepares for you a coffin. You go, she throws away every marriage thought and dream. You go, her dreams die and become a tribulation. Stay is something she cries out while stay, you leave her to cry. Stay is something she cries out while you leave her to cry, and well stay, you leave her to cry, and well stay, you leave her to cry, and well stay. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله بدل ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبي الفضل العباس واخته زينب جميعا، ورحمة الله وبركاته. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات، رحم الله من قرأ سورة المباركة الفاتحة مسبوقة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
كل الكائنات